I, 22F, am a shift lead at a fast food restaurant. Everyone who works there in a WhatsApp group chat together. When someone is late, we'll usually send out a name ETA text. This will be important later. There is a girl who recently started working there. We'll call her N and has been scheduled for my shifts plenty of times, but I've barely seen her since she always calls out day of her shift. Her call-outs are usually related to cheer practice or her high school sports games. Recently, she called out because she was in the hospital. A few days ago, she was scheduled to come in at 4, but didn't. At around 430, one of my coworkers texted an ETA in the group chat. At around 440, she responded telling him to mind his own business and that she has a football game today. I inserted myself into the conversation, asking why she was being rude when he was just wondering why she wasn't there for her scheduled shift. I then asked if she's not told about these games or practices beforehand, because she's always calling out for them day of. I admitted that I've never been involved in a high school sport myself, but I imagine there aren't this many late-minute practices. I think it's important to note that I was trying to keep a very non-confrontational tone in my messages. I was not being aggressive or rude at all, at least in my opinion. She replied to me saying she'd already spoken to the GM about it. GM text saying that N had said she was still in the hospital and said nothing about a football game. GM continues, saying that she posts the schedule a week in advance and she can't remake it once it's out. She told N she needs to find someone to cover her shifts, especially if she's just at a football game and not in the hospital, like she previously believed. And proceeds to say that no one has to worry about her coming into work anymore, and it was never that deep, before GM finally kicked her out of the group chat. About an hour later, I noticed she had messaged me privately. It's very important to note that she messaged me first. Here's a transcript of our conversation. And let me tell you something, quit trying to argue with me. I'm a child. What I got going on in life, my life don't got nothing to do with you. If you never had the experience to be an athlete, why TF are you talking to me like you understand? Mind your business, and I will mind mine's. Face blowing a kiss. Me. I'm a manager. Employees not showing up to work is quite literally my business. I wasn't trying to argue with you. I was trying to address and solve the problem. In the end, it doesn't matter since, as you said, you won't be showing up to work anymore. Good luck in the real world. And once again, it wasn't your problem and wasn't nobody talking to you. I was talking to coworker, but okay. Life is going to be forever straight with me. Worry about yours. Me. I pity the adults in your life if this is your reaction to one trying to solve a problem with you. Hope you don't try and get another job anytime soon because no workplace is going to tolerate this attitude.
Goodbye.
And don't even worry about it. I'm going to have my mama come up there and handle you because you're still arguing with a child. Face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, thumbs down, medium dark skin tone. Me. LOL okay. I can admit my tone was more aggressive here than it was in the group chat, and saying LOL okay isn't very professional, but what else do you say when someone is threatening to send their parents to scold you for telling their daughter to show up to the job she got? Anyway, the next day, rather than her mom showing up, it was her dad. We'll call him D. D walks in asking to speak to a manager. I tell him I'm the mod, and he says he doesn't want to speak to a shift lead, but a general or assistant manager. He says he needs to talk about how my name spoke to his daughter last night. After correcting him in the pronunciation of my name, I tell him that that's me. He starts yelling at me, telling me I have no right to go back and forth with a 16-year-old, and that what was said on my end was completely inappropriate. I told him the GM would be here in less than an hour. She was scheduled, and he said he'd wait. I didn't talk to him anymore after that. My GM arrives. I texted her beforehand to explain my side of the situation, and she and D talk for about 30 minutes. I don't know exactly what was said. I didn't ask, and I didn't bother inserting myself into the conversation. GM and I haven't had a chance to talk about the situation yet. She was busy when I left yesterday, but I can't stop thinking about what her dad said. Like I said earlier, I can admit my tone was a bit aggressive in my messages to her in our private conversation, but was her tone not much more aggressive? Was what she said not inappropriate as well? Not to mention that she messaged me first. Was she not expecting me to respond? Dee kept bringing up her age as a defense, but I don't think her age matters when she is working with full-time adults. Her unprofessionalism and lack of communication affects us, and it will affect any job she has in the future. Also, I've worked with 14-year-olds at my old job, and they were all more professional than her because they understood that when you're in the workplace, you need to have some level of maturity, no matter your age. None of the other 16-year-olds in my current job act the way she does either. They're all good at communicating when they can and can't come to work, and have never lied about being hospitalized to skip out on work. Her dad enabling this behavior by coming to yell at someone who called her out on it isn't going to do any favors for her future either. I don't feel like I'm in the wrong, but obviously her parents think differently. Are her parents just spoiling her, or AITA for calling out N for her behavior despite her age? Also sorry if the formatting is wonky, I'm posting this on mobile.